Joe, let me ask you this question. Who is responsible? Who is responsible for what happens in Return of the Living Dead? Is it Freddy for asking Frank, what's the weirdest thing you ever seen here? Is it Frank for telling Freddy the story and then saying, hey, trying to be a cool boss and say, hey, you want to go check him out in the basement? Is it Bert for suggesting that they go to Ernie's place to deal with the yellow cadaver? Is it Ernie for allowing Bert to use the oven? Who is responsible ultimately for the carnage of Return of the Living Dead? Does anybody have an opinion on this?
I mean, like, as the business owner, I mean, there's, well, to be fair, it says in case of emergency to call that number.
Right.
So, but I mean, I was going to ask this before. How much time takes place in between when those are shipped to them and this movie?
16
How long
years.
did they claim to have the movies? 16 years? Is that sad? I just never noticed it.
I don't know, maybe, but let me ask you this. So I think ultimately it is Bert's fault because Bert never took responsibility to let the army know that we had these things, and ultimately it would be the cause of his doom.
That's business. Yeah.
Right? So it really starts with Bert. Bert has nobody to blame but himself. It was a ticking time bomb that
hey.
What?
Could have been you could also fault their mail carrier. Because like, I mean, typical army fuck up, like like you're shipping something like that, man. Like, hey man, that's a big fuck up, man.
No, I'm gonna put the blame. No, you know what? I put the blame firmly in Bert's court. I think Bert is the one to blame. Jade says, I feel sad saying this, but I think it was Frank because he offered to show Freddy, and Frank told him to never, ever go near those goddamn tanks. I think he meant Bert, and Bert told him to never, ever go near those goddamn tanks. And Jade also says, Frank is my favorite character, so it makes me sad to say that. Yeah, I agree. I still think it's Bert's fault because Bert owns the place. Bert is the one that's responsible for making these kind of decisions. And yet at the same time, like, can he really blame his subordinates for, kind of, goofing off at work? He's trying to make the kid like him. It's his first day. They're going to be working together. Hey, why not? And does anybody know why Freddy took the job at Unit in the first place? This is only available in the book because the other friend of the kids, the teenagers, they all had a friend named Sunshine, and Sunshine was Freddy's roommate. And Sunshine overdosed on heroin and died. And Freddy decided that he wanted to clean up his life and get a job. And that is why he gets a job at Unita in the first place. Straight up. That's from the novelization. So John Russo introduces this whole character who's not even in the movie at all to give a reason as to why Freddy was taking the job in the first place, because he had witnessed what he had witnessed. And it's just kind of interesting how much, like, it's so weird to think about, like, the backstory of, like, these characters before they get to the place where they're at, where the movie, like, what was Suicide doing right before they called him? Think about that.